Lidia Sobieska first came out in Tekken 7 as a karate type character. She fights for her home country, Poland, and yeah, this character for me, I really like her, but she is quite difficult for newcomers. So I've made this basic guide to help new players get involved into the game and try this character out. If you like these kind of videos, be sure to subscribe as it keeps me motivated to making these long edit type of videos. We'll be covering Lidia's punishment, her key moves, how to get into her stance, what options you have from her stance, and many more. We'll be using a Tekken notation when talking about the moves. So the key moves that I would say you should use with Lidia is her back one, which is the heat engager. The reason why I say to use this move is because when blocked, this move is only +2. Right? It's only +2. So this is a good mid to throw out. I know it's 18 frames, but it's a good mid to throw out. You also have forward 4-2, which goes into stance, but you can press back. So you don't have to, you're not forced into doing any options. You can just hold back to block. Same with running one. Running one is just like literally a move that you can just throw out. If you want to go into stance, you hold forward. But like literally running two, you would want to use this because it takes you into her stance. Right, so you'd want to use this. Takes her into her core stance, right? You also have down forward one. Down forward one comes with extensions. The down forward one ain't that great. The tracking is not that great either, but it's still there. You got down forward 1-2 or down forward 1-3, which you can delay. Like that. But be careful, it's -13. You also use forward 1+2, free 1+2 for whip punishing, which is also her 14 frame punish and a heat engager. You have down forward 2, which is +11. But if this hits, counter hit, you can go straight into your heat engager. Down forward 2 is 15 frames, and I think it's pretty good, pretty fast as well. You got 1-2, 1-2, 4, which is a low at the end of it. But if you get 1-2, 4, you get knockdown, right? But then also if you do 1-2, 2, it's high, mid. It's high, high, mid, right? So let's do stand block, and you're safe. But technically you have to go into stance and it'll take some frames. But the gist of it is you can do that, and if people like are guessing that you're gonna do a low, they'll get hit by that. But I wouldn't suggest doing that. I would stick to just doing 1-2, 1-2, 4, right? Then you have down forward 4, down forward 4, piano 4, and this move is +6, pretty rapid, and it force crouches as well. So yeah, I think it's pretty good. You also have down 3, 1, 2, so you definitely want to use this to try and fish for counter hits. This is more on the intermediate level. It's 15 frame low, which I think is pretty good. It's pretty good and fast, but it's also minus on hit. It's -5, right? But if you get a counter hit, it's all guaranteed. So maybe what I would suggest is maybe doing this and then trying to do like down 3, 1, 2, because this is at +6, right? So you could do something like that. Then you have back 1 +2, which is the power crush. This is -13 on block, so only use this if you feel like you've got a read. It does wall splat though. 3 +4 is a good like lunging mid attack, right? And it puts her into cat stance. So I think that's pretty cool. You don't even have to follow up, you can literally just move back, right? This on block is, I believe, is 0. Let me just double check. Yeah, 0 on block. So you can literally just throw this out. Reset the neutral, move back, right? And then you have back 4, which is her homing move. You also have like down forward 3 +4. I don't think this homing move is good. You could just use back 4. Back 4 doesn't have that much range, but it's a good homing move. And then, yeah, I think that's it in terms of moves. Obviously, I told you about her stance, so you can choose the moves that you would use accordingly. And yeah, these are the key moves that I would use. I didn't get to speak about QCF 1 + 2 2. I think this move is really good. Like, you can use this for like combos, but you could also use this out in open play. Now, even on block, it's only -6, right? This move is very good in my opinion. I think this move is very, very good. Because it's like, you don't expect it. And it's mid-mid. Usually mid-mids are never ever safe. But with Lidia, it's safe. So, you know, still a basic combo. So you can use it as a combo, or you can just use it out in the open. I think the move is really good. Along with down 2, which is a quick poke. And obviously, if this counter hits, you get full crouch down 4-2 as a combo. Same thing with QCF4. If this hits, you get 10 frames, so you could do 1-2. You could do 1-2-2 as a combo. Lidia is a pretty interesting character, man. She's pretty interesting. Some counter hit launches that you can start off with Lidia is counter hit back to 3. You got also while standing 3. Forward 4, 3, 4. And then down forward 1, 3. Alright, so let's talk about her stance, the cat stance. The cat stance can be done by doing back 3 +4, or alternatively there's moves that go into it as well, like up forward 4 and other moves. So back 3 +4, let's talk about cat stance. You got 1 from cat stance, which is a mid knockdown, and if you get a counter hit, you get a follow up, which is forward 1 +2. You then have 2-2, which is a mid and it does tornado. If you get counter hit, it does automatic tornado like that. But if I done it like this, it just knocks them up like that. So let's see this. Down forward 2 into 2-2. 2-3-1. Now this is a 3-part string, and you can delay the last hit. It is -10 on block, so be careful. You then have 3, which is a high hook kick and is an heat engager, right? So it's pretty quick as well, 13 frames. Something like this, they cannot press, but they can duck it because it's a high. And then you have 4, which goes into Stalking Wolf, which I'm going to talk about later on. But on counter hit, you get this, right? which allows you to then continue your combo. 3+4. It will do this, and this will break the ground. I personally don't really see the reason of using the second option. Yeah, this is only probably to confuse people into thinking you're gonna do this. But I still think this is slow. People probably can like jab float you from this as well. So I wouldn't use the second option. I'll just pretty much use this to go into stance. So that is all of the stuff out of cat stance. We're now gonna get into horse stance. Now horse stance, you have a high power crush. Doesn't do anything on counter hit. It's still the same. Now the reason why you'll do this is because if you're down 4-4-2 and you want to keep the pressure, you'll do this, right? And it's a high power crusher. People can duck and then, you know, check you. Most people will probably do crouch jab, to be fair. So yeah, this is a high power crush. Then you have a mid attack throw, which is this. And then it this is the only thing that I've seen where it goes into starts automatically in a heat engager. So you'll do this. Whoops, you won't do that. And then you'll choose out of your heaven and earth options, which I'm going to talk about later on. So you also have a jumping mid kick, which gives a follow-up, which is 4-4-1+2. This on block is pretty good in my opinion. 4, which is a slow mid-axe kick, but +8. On normal, it just knocks you down. So yeah, that would be your combo. And then you got 1+2, which is a low chop, but this is -18, so be careful of this. This is gives you a combo, but yeah, just be careful. This is -18. And that's all the stuff from cat and horse stance. Now we're gonna get into stalking wolf. Now, the reason why I've separated both stances is because cat stance and horse stance are two separate stances, but they both transition into stalking wolf. So that's the second transition. So if you're ever thinking like, what can I do to like remember the stances? Cat is one stance, horse is another stance, and then stalking wolf they both can transition into. So as you can see, this is stalking wolf when she does the second one, and then cat into stalking wolf is this. So stalking wolf, the first one is double punch move. So this does that. And then you can do 4-4-1+2. This move is +2 on block. You have 2, which is a knockdown. If I done this, you probably see me do it in combos, right? 3-2, sorry, is a mid-mid. Now the thing with this, it's not a natural combo. Only on counter hit, it's natural combo. But you have nothing to lose because it's only -6 if they block it anyways. And then you have 4, which is a low knockdown. And so you do the low and then do this. So this is like a sequence for like beginner players. If you was like, oh yeah, what can I do in these stances? You could go into cat stance by pressing back 3+4, then press 4, and then press 4 again. It's like a little autopilot thing to do. Or you could press 4 into 1 if you want like a low mid mix. Yeah, so doing this, it knocks down, but you're -7. So this does quite a bit of damage for a low, and I think it's pretty good if you can get the read. So yeah, that is all the moves in the stances. So with heaven and earth, this is only accessible in heat, right? So you can access it by doing a stance and then pressing up. So if I done forward 3+4, I press up. If I did back 3+4 for cat stance, I press up, and that's how you get it. And you can also do it from other moves as well. So like say for example, if I done 4-4-2 and I went into stance, I then tap up to go into heaven and earth. This heaven and earth stance is basically an install. Now what I mean by that is the character gains more the more you go into the stance. So you only get maximum of 3 stock, as you can see up there underneath her bar. you only get maximum free stock, and this adds power, up forward 1+2 throw, running 1, and a bunch of other stuff. But we're not going to talk about that just yet. We're going to talk about the 3 options you have from heaven and earth. So first things first, we've got the power crush mid, which is 1. It's -11 on block. We also have the double mid, which is this, which is +6 on block. And then we also have the guard break high. So you have to guess between each option that you feel is good. Me personally, I will always like to go for the mid. I don't really think the power crush mid is that great in my opinion. I don't think people are trying to press that much. But if you feel like they are, you can. And the beauty of going into heaven and earth is you can do it from moves like that, like 1+2. You could do it from running 1. See? And it goes into stance as well. And it also has a parry option as well for punches and kicks. So if I was doing this, when she does that motion, if someone punches or kicks, it will deflect it. So yeah, that is heaven and earth. If you are on no level, as you can see here, you would have to build this up throughout the matches. So right now, if I do this once, it takes 1 bar, and that's it for the round, right? Now that I have 1 bar, I now gotta go into heat again. And then I could do it twice, right? As you can see. And I build up free stock. But the aim of this, what I would say the best thing to do is, if you are playing a match and you get a counter hit of 4-4-2, I would do this because look, you get 1 stock already, yeah? And then you could do it like this. And that's how you build it up for your first round. If you want to get level 3 from the first round, you would have to get the counter hit forward 2 and then go into stance, because you get 1 stock already. So yeah, just bear that in mind. And the stock lasts for the whole match. You cannot lose a stock. But we're now going to get into what stuff it enhances with Lidia Sobieska. So the install power-ups that you get from Lidia is running 1, and then 1, and then down 1+2. So every time you do this, she gets more damage, right? So let me show you how it works. Boom. There you go. So the damage gets enhanced. So it's level 1 damage, level 2 damage, that's level 3 damage from the running 1. So you can see the difference. This also applies to Lidia's up forward 1+2 throw. So as you can see from this does 40 damage, right? If I do this with 1 stock, it does 42 damage. If I do this with 2 stock, it does 44 damage. If I do this with 3 stock, it does 46 damage. Same thing with Lidia's counter hit sweep. If we put it on counter hit, so this does 41 damage. 43 with 1 stock. 45 with 2 stock. 47 with 3 stock. So yeah, it's pretty insane. Do this. That done 39 damage, right? Now let's just put this into theory. All right. 38 damage, right? Now it does 41 damage. It's 41, 43. 48 damage. Things changing when you go into heaven and earth stance. So as you can see, 2-2 does 38 damage. Level 2 does 42 damage. And then level 3 does 46 damage, but also gives that super pushback, so you get wall splat against the wall, which is pretty crazy. And then the same with the other heaven and earth stuff. So that does 25 damage. That does 27 damage. And this does 30 damage. Heaven and Earth has one more, which is an unblockable high. So we're gonna go and do that. So that's 42 damage. That's 45 damage. That is 49 damage. That's the stuff I found out with Lidia, and I think this character is very, very effective when she's on level 3. So, you know, if you do something like this, that's 78 damage. And not to mention the combos, but yeah, this is just a beginner's guide to get you started. Alright, so Lidia's game plan, from what I can see, is to use a lot of mids, right? These are the mids that you'll be using. Running 3, running 1 is a high. You can use down 1 if you want to. Then you can use lows, but be careful because the lows are very, like, they're just not good. They're very minus on hit. They don't really give plus frames. You know, you could use down back 3 stance. Like, this is a good move as well. I didn't list this on the key moves, but yeah, this one is a pretty good move. Kind of get into stance as well. But yeah, like that, her game plan is just kind of look out for things. If you whiff, use forward 1+2, free 1+2, and just like try and get into, you know, heat. I think she strives off of heat. So if you're trying to get into heat, you'll use 4-4-2, you get a counter hit, and then press 2 in her core stance. So look, if I just do this. Then I've now got 1, 2, 3, right? Once you get to level 3, that's when things just become crazy. So then you would have to wait till your next round because heat is once per match. And obviously the stock, the free stock will stay there for the rest of the match. So this is when things become interesting because when she's in heat, you're going to see stuff like this, the damage, you know, into more things. And then she can kind of like dictate the match. So, but this is only when she's in heat. So you have to be very careful and you have to kind of know how to keep the stocks up and stuff like that. But yeah, that's generally how you're meant to play her. Look out for counter hits as well. Obviously she has a bunch of counter hit stuff. So, you know, down forward 2 is another one, another prime example. Like, this is pretty good to use. The running 2 or 4-4-2 should I say is pretty good. Running 3 is pretty good. So when I do running 3, 4-4-3 or stuff like that, or running 3, you could do like down 2 if you're not confident. That is Lidia in a nutshell. If you feel like you're under pressure, use back 1+2 as well. But yeah, let me know what you lot think about the guide. This is just kind of to get everyone started and stuff like that as well. There's probably more things that you can discover with this character, but yeah, this is just basically the stuff that you can learn with Lidia Sobieska. So remember to subscribe, and thank you very much for supporting the channel. Take it easy, everyone. Peace.